Cross Politic begins in 3, 2, 1.
I have a heart that breaks for a dying city.
Stop cursing your future. Is not true.
For all intents and purposes, I am a woman.
No government, no political system has ultimate supremacy. Jesus is King of Kings, and it's about time our nation returned in humble submission to his lordship.
You are not protecting women. You are authorizing the destruction of 500,000 little women every year.
But I didn't start it. But, sir, with all due respect, that's the argument of a 5-year-old. I didn't start it.
Right, when the Spirit comes upon people, they go to war. They go to battle, and the enemies of God are driven back, and they're slaughtered.
You are listening to Cross Politic with Gabe Wrench, the Water Boy, Pastor Toby Sumter, and the Chocolate Knox.
Welcome,
Waterboy.
Yes, I hope you guys love our new intro there. Whose voice was that?
Nathan Long.
Nathan Long. That's a great voice.
Dude, he's amazing.
Wow.
He found us on Facebook.
Did he really?
Yes.
And he did that for us?
And he was just like, so what happened first, he heard one of the spots we were doing. He was like, I think I can give a little life to that. He did the spot, and I'm like, nah, bro. Got to do the open.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Nice. And he did, and man, he just sounds great. Makes it sound really professional.
So what's that smell?
Yeah, that's a Fight, Laugh, Feast.
What?
Coffee label.
That's what that smells like?
Yes.
Dude, smell that.
Smells
Put
really good.
your nose in there, not too far.
Oh, my
Come on,
gracious.
get away from that, man.
Oh, man.
That's some cross politics. That's some dominion for you right there.
What's it called?
Fight, Laugh, Feast.
Fight, Laugh, Feast. It's our coffee.
Oh, hey, hit that button right there. Hit
It's our coffee.
on the
And you
water.
can go to our
Yeah,
merch shop. Get your coffee before Christmas.
Wait,
it is seriously
what's the blend called? What's it called? You told me a name before. It was
Sovereignty Blend.
The Sovereignty Blend.
Yep.
Oh man.
We don't want to be just talking heads on the microphones. We want to live out our coffee life.
Coffee.
Yes.
I'm just gonna pour a little.
Okay.
I'm here. I'm just.
So we got a great show. We got a great show coming ahead. We got the Church Curmudgeon coming on for an interview. Yes.
Oh, yes.
David Rigier,
all right,
a.k.a. Church Curmudgeon.
You want some of this coffee?
Yes, please.
Listen to this one. This week, join me by wearing a brown ribbon on your lapel. Together we can defeat gravy deficiency.
He tweeted Thanksgiving week, ain't no gravy going to hold your body down. Here's another one. Then there was the lady who skipped one phrase of the Lord's Prayer because it contained gluten. Folks, I think you're going to really enjoy David Chocolate Knox is making coffee in the background. Folks, I think you're really going to enjoy our interview with the Church Curmudgeon. He was great.
And we're going to give away a book.
And yes, we got limited edition Then Tweets My Soul.
Wait, why is it a limited edition?
Because Canon only printed, I don't know, like 20 copies or something of this version. It smells great. Almost distracting.
What? Are we doing something here?
We were trying to do a podcast here.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, y'all do that.
We're on a show.
Y'all amongst yourselves.
Okay.
So they printed 20 copies.
I don't know, maybe
edition.
more than that, but
okay, well,
super limited edition.
Limited edition. It's like on eBay in a few years. It's going to be worth like hundreds of dollars, thousands.
Probably.
It was going to auction off somewhere.
Yep.
And what's limited about it?
It's the unique cover.
Okay, so it's the same as the regular book.
Yes,
but it's a limited
edition cover.
Yes.
Is that boiling over there, Toby?
And the way you guys can get access to the drawing for this book is you got to tweet and tag Cross Politic in it and do some sort of kind of churchish curmudgeon tweet. And the best.
So they're going to do a Church Curmudgeon tweet.
Yep, but they got to make it up themselves.
Okay, it's their own
original,
and tag Cross Politic.
And we get to judge the best one.
Yet the best one wins.
The one that we all retweet. We all have to retweet it.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but we can retweet it.
And I bet we can get the Church Curmudgeon to actually retweet it to his 90,000
so we can like
followers.
That's
a big one.
I like that. I like that.
So, so we're gonna vote on it, like the three of us.
The three of us will vote on it.
Okay, so there's an odd number.
So someone's gonna win.
Well, no, I just think that if we all retweet that tweet, We can like all of them. Whichever one we like, we can all like them. But the one that we retweet, why are you looking at me like that, Pastor Toby?
Well, it just seems so complicated. I want to retweet all of them.
We'll review the
Everybody's a winner in your book? Oh, come on.
Give them all participation
We're
trophies.
Give everybody a trophy.
Like a good church curmudgeon.
Oh, only one gets the book.
Only one gets a book. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like we can retweet them, but then we'll have an official vote on which one is the winner, and you're going to get a limited edition. Then Tweets My Soul, special cover
shipped to you.
Yes, from Church Curmudgeon. But you got to write us, and we're the one that we like the best. Wins. And we got to write your own, compose your own. Imagine yourself as an old grumpy man in the back of church,
and say something funny.
I
think we made that a little more difficult than it should have been. Okay.
This is why I'm making coffee.
We're all like confused because David's over there making coffee.
Because it smells that good.
Oh, guys.
The best part of waking up is cross-politic in your car.
I'm pretty sure that was a copyright or something. We can get sued
it's
now.
A podcast. We don't have to pay.
We're in trouble now.
Yeah, podcast gets away with everything.
We're teaching.
All right, so let's get on to some news.
Did anything happen this week?
A little more serious. We're getting into a little more serious stuff. Fidel Castro passed away on Friday.
He did.
Capitalistic Friday, Black Friday, the best capitalistic Friday of the.
I thought he died on Thanksgiving.
No, Friday, Black Friday, and but I think it's been kind of an odd response from Fidel. I guess maybe it's not odd. A number of liberals have sent him warm greetings, him and his family warm greetings, because of his passing. Some people, and one particularly that just like
the Canadian Prime
Minister Justin Trudeau basically said it's with deep sorrow.
I think it's Trudeau.
Let him have his day.
Give me my American pronunciation, please.
It's okay.
That's a Texan.
My hooked on phonics.
Texan. American. Don't associate me with that.
Hooked on phonics Texan pronunciation.
You're not federal over here, buddy.
It's with deep sorrow that I learned today the death of Cuba's longest serving president. Why was he long serving? How did that happen? Fidel Castro was larger-than-life leader who served his people for almost half a century. A legendary revolutionary and orator, Mr. Castro made significant improvements to the education and health care of his island nation. Unreal.
Wow.
When new old diseases have started popping back up on the island that America and other first world nations have thoroughly dealt with. It's funny that he said that while a controversial figure, so he actually mentions his controversial figure, both Mr. Castro's supporters and detractors recognize his tremendous dedication and love for the Cuban people.
So did you guys see the Trudeau eulogies?
No.
So a bunch of people on Twitter start having fun with this.
Oh, man.
Because he says that this horrible man is great at stuff. So, listen, today we mourn Attila the Hun, a great statesman who led his people with grace to distant lands. His love of horses was renowned.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, God. Jack the Ripper was a gentleman who helped many prostitutes escape the lifestyle and helped prevent the spread of STDs.
Oh, man.
Right? Robespierre was a razor-sharp politician theorist of sanguine conviction, noted for keeping his head when others couldn't.
Wow.
There's a little pun in there.
Yeah.
You don't say.
Keeping his
dude, would you like some cream, or you just want it black and a little extra water? What would you like, Mr. Pastor Toby?
I'm going to have a little bit of cream.
A little bit of cream? Okay, I got you. Okay.
It's kind of that sweet stuff.
It is, yeah.
No.
It's the caramel macchiato.
Oh, my gracious.
Really?
I don't know if...
I'll take it black and strong. I like my theology.
I think I'll actually stick with you.
I didn't. Just my head. Okay.
I'll take it black.
Just black?
Just take it black. Yeah, just top it off. That's great. With deep sadness and a heavy heart, we remember Jadis the White Witch, who worked tirelessly to reverse Narnian global warming.
Oh, that was great.
This is warming it up for the curmudgeon right here.
Great.
Yeah, talk about the use of humor.
Yeah.
Trudeau eulogies. Check it out. Oh, my gracious.
Hashtag,
yeah.
Well, so what do you think is kind of behind some of these responses, particularly from liberals who are, at minimum, sugarcoating Fidel's atrocities? You know what I'm saying? Toby.
Sorry, I'm distracted.
Toby, he's still laughing.
Sorry.
I'm trying to ask a pastoral question to Toby.
Serious question.
Serious question. What do you think is kind of behind some of this silliness of most liberals basically being sympathetic?
Right, which it's backwards and upside down because he's he comes to power, promises to lift up the poor and the needy, and doesn't. One of the best obits that you can read on this was published by the Miami Herald. I forget the author. It was a number of I think it was like 3 or 4 women that collaborated to write it. It's a lengthy obituary, a number of striking things in there. From 1961 to 1963, over I think it was 14,000 children between the ages of like 6 and 18 were secretly flighted out of Cuba. Yeah. Operation Pedro Pan.
Right. To escape.
I mean, just the number of refugees, send the kids out. It's the largest unaccompanied evacuation of children in the history of the Western Hemisphere.
Wow.
Between 1961 and 1963. But that tells you, how does it feel to be in Cuba?
Yeah.
How does it feel?
You want to get out.
You want to get out.
We're shipping our kids out away from our houses.
Get away.
To who knows where they're going to end up landing.
But anything's better than here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I can't remember what the other statistic was, but I think at the height of his regime, 1 in 3 pregnancies ended in an abortion.
Sorrow.
No hope.
No hope.
No hope. Yep. But here's the thing. So I think why are some liberals, not all of them, but why are some of them going? Why are they going with this? Why are they reaching out to him? I think what you find is that on the left there really is a pretty significant division. There are some, I think, who have sort of old school liberal values.
Yep.
They value equality above everything else, and so that drives their policymaking. It's
classical liberalism.
Classical liberalism, right? Yep. Equality, and that's the main aim.
I'm just getting the grains out. I'm listening.
I'm trying to preach a sermon here.
Hey, have a sip of your coffee before you start.
All right.
Okay. No, it's really good. I'm just saying it's coffee. It's cross-politic coffee.
Oh, you know what that makes me want to do?
Preach.
Fight, laugh, and feast. Right there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Amen.
Yeah. In a cup.
You know where you can get that at? You can get that at crosspolitic.com.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
/shop.
Yeah.
Click on the link.
And you know what? And you know what's great about this?
HTTPS.
It's a capitalist thing. It's not like Fidel Castro. He wouldn't have liked this kind of system.
It's a free market.
This money actually goes to us.
Amen.
So we can continue to preach like you're about to do.
But there's another big segment of the left that really is just revolutionary. It's anarchic. They just want to revolt. They want to bust the status quo. Yeah. This is Darwinism, applied to culture. Darwinism applied to politics. It's chaos is good.
Survival of the fittest.
Yeah, and so if you rearrange the pieces long enough and enough, good things happen, beautiful things happen, and so there's this romanticism of revolution. Constant revolution, and so I think for many on the left, Castro represents that. Right. This revolt, and I think there's a weird syndrome. This is a self-loathing, self-hatred that has emerged over the last number of years, and a lot of people just hate America.
Right.
They hate the West. They hate, and I think fundamentally what they hate is they hate Christianity.
That's exactly right. That's what it represents.
They hate Christianity.
See, I'm listening.
And wow, multitasking over there. So Castro, though, he stands for this sort of massive, give the West the finger.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think
that's why Colin Kaepernick is wearing his shirt.
So if you're against,
what a lame.
So if you're against Christianity, you're against those values, and you see them in America, then that guy becomes sort of your hero because he stands as a symbol of sort of standing against Christianity, Christian West.
Well, and what is because even President Obama, I mean his was even pretty neutral. Yeah. He said, I got it right here in front of me. He said, and I'll just read the opening paragraph. The rest is kind of similar to this.
Can you just read the whole thing for the next half an hour?
Because you want to drink your coffee.
Coffee.
That's right.
While chocolate knocks makes coffee. So Obama's statement, you can go to the whitehouse.gov to find the statement. He said, at this time of Fidel's passing, we extend a hand of friendship to the Cuban people. We know that this moment fills Cubans in Cuba and in the United States with powerful emotions, recalling the countless ways in which Fidel Castro altered the course of individual lives, families. I mean, alter the course. I mean, it's unreal.
Wow.
Strong feelings.
History will record and judge the enormous impact of this singular figure on the people and world around him.
How do you say something is really, really important without saying why or making any judgment?
Mm-hmm. Everybody can agree with that.
But why? Right. Why would they not make a judgment on this? That's leadership. And the Cuban people, they celebrated in Miami. They're still going on for days.
They were partying.
Yeah. And yet our own president, knowing that this guy has murdered tens of thousands,
because he's got to be sensitive of the people that look to him as their hero.
You saying that Obama has a concern to the people that are giving America the middle finger?
Yep. Yeah, that's the PC. That's the PC thing.
Yeah.
Right? We got to be careful about everybody's feelings.
Here's what drives.
Don't offend anybody.
Here's what cracks me up is okay. This is no way am I defending Trump, but Trump has these comments from 2005.
Oh come on! Oh come on!
You have to say that before.
Come on! Right. Come on! Defend him! Just defend him!
No, no, I'm not. But then
I think you really want to.
But then then we have this leadership hole with Obama. And says all these, neutral things.
Do you have Trump's statement?
He said he tweeted Fidel is dead.
Yeah,
but then he went more later. But that was his big tweet.
But he also had a statement too.
Yeah, let me find it.
Get that?
I'll get that up.
And he was not ambiguous.
Yeah.
If you could imagine that, can you imagine Trump not being ambiguous? Like just telling us what he thinks? Do you think
I don't think he does that much.
Do you think he would do that?
Do you follow him on Twitter?
Oh, I do. I do.
So I follow.
So let's talk about that.
I didn't follow him on Twitter until he became president-elect. I refuse to follow.
Oh, you're such a purist.
No.
And why not?
Because
what kind of principle were you upholding to say I will not follow Trump?
Well, I think
I will not be contaminated by that.
I will not support this.
Well, because I didn't want to give ear to a guy who I didn't think should be president, and then now he's president. We need to pay attention to him.
I follow Hillary.
Oh man,
yeah,
I could do that.
I don't know how you do that.
I follow Obama.
Could not do that.
Yeah, I tried.
Yeah.
So here's
clips.
Here's clips from his statement. He said Fidel Castro's legacy is one of firing squads, theft, unimaginable suffering, poverty, and denial of fundamental human rights.
Yeah,
unreal.
It's true.
Yeah,
right. And that's refreshing. For all the serious concerns and qualms you can have about Trump, which we agree with.
Yeah.
That's refreshingly
super refreshing,
straightforward. And even back to the tweet thing with Trump. I know this is a slight rabbit trail, but I think it fits. He is.
Oh.
We're losing listeners right now.
Oh my gracious! Yeah, they're like unsubscribed.
You know what? I'm sorry. Go ahead. It just helped me focus a little. I haven't had my coffee today, and so.
Have you seen how Trump is? He's just he says these kind of things, straightforward things. Fidel is dead. Firing squads, whatever. He's going off on CNN. He's going off of all these people. He doesn't care. Some of it's cringeworthy. Yeah. Some of it's sort of disturbing. Yeah. And, it's like, and what a weird world. We're talking about Twitter. Just the oddity of Twitter.
Yeah.
Church Curmudgeon doing his tweeting, right? But President-elect, the President of the United States, is tweeting, and he's just saying whatever comes to his head.
Yeah.
And
it used to be a time like that.
Well, really?
Well, I mean, where the president didn't feel so guarded, like he was going to be kind of more straightforward.
But the media is freaking out, flipping out,
and yet Obama
and doesn't. But the thing is that Trump doesn't care.
Yeah.
And the more the media flips out about it, the more people like Trump.
Mark Wahlberg told Hollywood, he said, they don't care about you. Middle America does not care about you. And this election made that clear.
Yeah.
When we come back, the Church Curmudgeon, he's up next, and I'm going to sit here during the break and enjoy my cup of Fight, Laugh, Feast, available at crosspolitic.com.
It is really good.
It is. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, this coffee. It's my favorite.
Yeah. Stocking stuffers, I think.
Canon Press is a publishing house located in Moscow, Idaho. Canon Press, we create and provide products that sketch a vision of the whole life, a whole culture. A life full of beauty, tradition, education, community, laughter, and celebration. Unashamed of Christ and sharply at odds with the values of modernity. A mature culture with the church at the center, living out the good life, one family at a time. We believe our book, audio, and visual selections reflect this exciting life that God has given us under the sun. As the wisest man said, go eat your bread with joy and drink your wine with a merry heart, for God has already accepted your works. CanonPress.com.
For 21 years and counting, New St. Andrews College has sought to obey Christ's Great Commission to disciple nations and build him a house. Not just in Jerusalem, but throughout the world. Not with stones and mortar, but with living stones. We build and fight. This is the task of a Christian liberal arts college, to equip students with the tools to build and fight. And this is our joyful task as we seek to graduate leaders who shape culture through wise and victorious living. To learn more, check us out online at nsa.edu/explore.
Welcome back to Cross Politic. Joining us on this segment is, oh my gracious, I'm excited. It's the Church Curmudgeon.
Hey!
Give it up. We got...
Hey!
Church Curmudgeon is the old guy who sits on the back pew of the sanctuary, farthest from the drums. He measured. You can find his complaints on Twitter at Church, CHRCH, Curmudgeon, and on Facebook. I was just pulling you up here a second ago on Twitter, and I started laughing right before we called you. You tweeted an hour ago, join us at church tonight for the hanging of the greens. They should have known better than to sit in the wrong pew.
Were they black? I don't know.
Dave, chalk knocks.
So,
Curmudgeon, what are you guys doing over there? Oh.
What kind of church do you go to?
So, AKA also David Regier. So, thank you.
That's me.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
Tell us, David, tell us about how did this happen? What?
Oh, gosh. Well, I started this. It's actually been just over 6 years now.
Wow.
That I've been on Twitter, and it just started. I had a personal account for a short time, and then there were a couple of just anonymous kind of fake worship leader, fake pastor accounts, and things like that. Just a couple of them out there, and then I thought, nobody represents the old guy on the back pew.
Who needs representation?
Absolutely. Every church has one, at least one. And so, you have to have the guy who's complaining about everything that's going on. And for some reason, it was one of those things that I just found my niche with that. And
I don't know. I want to know about this one. Ain't no potluck like a Baptist potluck, because a Baptist potluck don't stop.
Uh-huh. So I was at a church once.
You know how we Baptists love our hip hop.
I was gonna say, like, what old guy knows that song?
Yeah, well, that's the thing that got me, is that you don't sound old. I'm expecting this old, oh, yeah, you little young whippersnappers, you know. Yeah, I'm expecting that guy, and you don't sound like that at all. I'm a little taken back.
So
I'm right in the middle. I'm hitting 50 this year.
Oh, well, congratulations!
So,
all right.
So I was at a church.
Thank you.
I was at a church one time in Oregon, and it was a charismatic church, and all of a sudden the drum beat started happening. And then the next thing you hear is, ain't no party like a Holy Ghost party, because a Holy Ghost party don't stop.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I grew up in a Presbyterian church, and we didn't know what that was.
Oh, no. Yeah. I wish nobody knew what that was. I wish.
And there's a good reason.
Yeah. So, David, tell me this. Are you naturally a complainer then, right? Like, you're a professional complainer at this point, right?
Yeah, now I'm getting paid. No, here's the thing, is that for the past 20-some years, 25 years, I've been a worship leader, and so I've just gotten to hear all of them.
Because the music guy gets the most complaints.
Yeah, the music guy gets all of them. He's the brunt of it. So I've gotten the anonymous notes in my box and all of that kind of stuff.
Oh man!
And so I know where they're coming from.
So do people from your church like hear their complaints through the Curmudgeon, and you're like,
that was that's funny.
Yeah, they don't know I'm just mining them for material.
Now, are your church members more careful around you now?
Yeah, probably. No, they're all good with it. They're all good with it.
That's great. Now, who's the guy on the cover? Who is that face? That's an epic Curmudgeon
really wish I knew.
face.
That is the big question because here's the truth. I just found that on Google when I went through an image search and looked for angry old man, and that was the one that popped up, and I said, that's perfect. And
some guy out there.
Yeah, he's like
some guy out there.
He's probably an atheist. He's like,
by now.
Well, it seems like one of the, as I read through your book, which we're going to be giving away a copy of your book on the show. Then tweets my soul, the best of the church curmudgeon. As I read through it, you're pretty hard on worship leaders.
Or somebody else is,
or the
right?
church curmudgeon is
exactly.
pretty hard on worship leaders. And one of my favorites is his Starbucks order had more words in it than the worship song he led on Sunday.
Oh,
Ooh,
yes. And then here's another one: worship team practice tonight. They'll be working on new arrangements of old hymns so the seniors can hate them too. New arrangements of old hymns so the seniors can hate them. So it seems like one of your major themes is kind of making fun of or a church curmudgeon with the worship team, songs, music, so forth. Is that kind of coming from?
Oh yeah,
pulling from all your experience there that you were talking about earlier.
Well, yeah. See, here's the thing: is that I started out as a young worship leader doing all of that stuff.
Yeah, 25 years.
Yeah, just doing. I spent some time early on in the Vineyard movement, and so I know what it's like to have a song that has about 8 words in it.
Right.
And you just do it over and over, and it feels all worshipful somehow or something. I don't know. And then then I asked John Calvin into my heart.
You too? Oh, he's so awesome.
But no, seriously, as you go along, you grow in depth and you grow in what what worship is all about, and you realize, okay, we have to be deeper than this. We have to use more words to teach and admonish one another with psalms and hymns and spiritual songs. Mm-hmm. And so we got to do all of that. And so that's what I'm about now, but I had to grow into that.
So when I told my wife we were interviewing you, she doesn't know who you are. I think I maybe read her a few of them, but she says, so does he do this to actually, build up the church? And so when I was thinking, like, getting ready to talk to you, like, it seems to me that there's a serious business to humor. There's a serious business to it, and I wanted to just ask about, so
by business you mean purpose?
Yeah, it's like serious purpose to the humor.
Because I was seeing money signs.
I know that's dollars. No, it's like 90,000 Twitter followers.
I'm a pastor. I don't know anything about making money. What
I can help you with that.
So yeah, talk to us a little bit about sort of what's the serious purpose behind Church Curmudgeon?
Well, okay, there is a big part of it that it lets me kind of spout off. I've always had a little bit of a smart mouth. It's gotten me into trouble in staff meetings and all of that kind of stuff. It's like, okay, let's get on with the meeting, and I came down with a case of the quips when I was young, and
never recovered.
That's never left me. So this is an outlet for that, but I do have a point of view, and I do have I have a desire that people that they would not take the things that don't need to be taken seriously so seriously.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and by doing that, you have to poke some holes, you have to pop some balloons, and because people do take the wrong things very seriously sometimes. And then also there's lighthearted ways to just get people to think too, and to take some things more seriously than they had been.
Yeah.
So
Black Friday pro tip: wear a blue vest to Walmart.
Now, excuse me. Now, Church Curmudgeon.
Could you do that in the mic again next time?
I'm sorry.
Like,
I know.
Cough right into our ears.
Chalk, can you edit that out?
No.
I'm going to wipe off my ear.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I was going to speak and it didn't come out. So the church needs a curmudgeon is kind of what you're saying. You're kind of getting at we need this, and the way I look at humor is it deals with some serious sins in a way that maybe some sort of rebuke or some sort of confrontation wouldn't regularly or normally deal with that same problem. It takes for example, like the sin of pettiness. Humor is really effective there. You make fun of a lot of things, worship leaders, or apply the 8 words to a song and kind of point out that there's no depth there in that kind of worship music, and humor is effective. But
humor only works if there's a standard.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like poetry, right?
If there's no standard, then you can't.
It's not funny
because humor is based on the fact that something is off kilter.
Right. Exactly.
It's not right.
Yeah.
And it sort of exploits that.
There's no such thing as postmodern humor. It just doesn't work.
Right.
Yeah. Now, one of the effective things, also, and this is where my question's getting at, is humor also can bring odd people together, odd cultures together. So you're Reformed and you're Charismatic, or you're Baptist and you're Methodist, or whatever. Have you kind of seen a little bit of that? I mean, you got 90,000 Twitter followers. You have Rick Warren following you, and you have me following you,
and a whole bunch in the middle.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I got one time I got retweeted by Rick Warren and James White in the same day.
Wow, you've made it.
Yeah, that was cognitive dissonance right there. I was like, wow, I must be onto something.
So you're working for you're an ecumenical worker here.
There we go.
That's right.
That's it. I'm all about the unity of the church.
Which is not what the Church Curmudgeon's known for.
No, exactly. But in his own strange way, somehow he does that.
Now, have you ever had someone come up to you and say, "Hey, I really did do that. You tweeted something and it really nailed them," and it's like, actually, that was me.
Yes, I have. I have that happen every once in a while, where somebody says, "Hey, that was right where I was." I wish I had a good example for you. I'll think of something, but it does happen that people say, "Oh, that's my case."
Yeah. And now, related to this, have you had a lot of people? Have you had some people kind of get frustrated with you, mad at you? Hey, why are you making fun of us? That kind of.
Oh
thing?
Yeah. Now on Twitter, I've kind of got my audience is fairly established and they understand what I'm doing and stuff. But I'm on Facebook as well, and the fun thing about Facebook is that people can comment at length.
Right. You said fun thing.
That's the fun thing.
That's the fun thing. Oh man. Yeah. They need a limit.
And yeah, I know it's and I don't. I just let them go. I will almost never answer anybody on there about that because I just like to let them go off because I invented this holiday called Benny Hinn Day.
Everybody gets healed, huh?
No, it's in the fall when you turn the clocks back. I put up a picture of Benny Hinn and I say, "Everybody fall back."
Oh, that's great. We got to get that meme.
All right, that's going up on our Facebook page.
Yeah, and I get people commenting on there. Why are you tearing down a prophet of God?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, and I didn't even say anything about you. really pro or con Benny Hinn.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't say anything, but some people get so worked up about even if you have a little tiny bit of a joke about somebody, they get worked up about that kind of thing.
So are
like,
you?
Oh, okay.
I want to know what brand you are. Are you Baptist, Reformed Baptist? I mean, you let Calvin into your heart. So where's the curmudgeon? What kind of church is the curmudgeon sitting in? Where they have a worship leader?
Well, right now, the curmudgeon right now is sitting in a Southern Baptist church, a fairly traditional Southern Baptist church that's trying to, just going along. And we're in a community of some older folks, and but it's Southern California, so we have older folks, and we have a largely Hispanic community as well. So we're just wading through, how do we deal with these different cultures and all of that kind of stuff. That's where I am now. But here's the thing: I grew up Mennonite.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. So
it just stops right there.
Yeah.
So you said you picked up tweeting about 6 years ago, which probably would have placed you around the age 44. And it's harder for older people generally to kind of pick up this kind of technology, but at the same time, you've picked up this technology, and it's kind of created a different life for you. It's created a personality for you, and probably some income for you. Could you ever imagine that Twitter was going to take you to this place?
Well, as far as the income go, I've never really monetized any of that until writing the book. So this is just, it's been a hobby. It's been one of those things that's like, Dad, get off the iPad.
Now you can say, hey, I'm making money over here. I'm making money.
Exactly. I know. It's been, but it's been a lot of fun. It's something I kind of fell into naturally as far as getting, once I started getting into 140 characters, and being funny in that kind of thing. I think being a songwriter helped do that because you have to compose.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
I compose, so that part helps. But
is there a place to find any of the music that you write?
I have. It's been a while since I've released anything. One of these days, I'm going to start linking some stuff. I've written a number of choral works that you can find on my my YouTube page, but I don't even know what that is right now. So.
We'll have to put that in the description for the show. We'll find that. That'd be great to hear some of your work.
Yeah, I'll send you a link when I can when I get the chance. I can put it in the show notes.
Now, do your kids retweet Church Curmudgeon?
My oldest son does. I've got 4 kids, and they are age 16 down to 3.
Okay.
And the 3-year-old doesn't get it much.
You're a little too quick for him.
Yeah, he's he's a man of action. He'd rather be out in the yard. But the funny thing is, my 7-year-old daughter has, since we got the books, she's been just sitting on the couch reading the books and just shaking her head and going, "Oh, Dad."
That's great. Yeah, that's really great.
Now, what is last question here before we let you go? What does your wife think about this whole venture?
It took her a couple of years before she even really realized what I was doing with it. But she shakes her head and she's kind of the stable one in the family who just kind of holds everything together. She enjoys it. She does get a kick out of it, but really she's the one who keeps me grounded and in the realm of the family and reminding me that I got to be around and I got to be present and all of that kind of stuff. And it's good to have that.
Yeah. Well, thanks a bunch, folks. You can follow David Rigier, a.k.a. Church Curmudgeon, on Twitter. You can also check out his book, Then Tweets My Skull, the best of the Church Curmudgeon. David, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
This is Cy Timbrunke with Answer Anyone Apologetics. Somebody comes up to you and says that they don't believe in God. What have they just done? They've just blasphemed God. You see, blasphemy is not only taking the name of God in vain, but taking his word in vain as well. In Romans chapter 1, we're told that everyone has sufficient knowledge of God to leave them without excuse. When someone says that they don't believe in God, they're in effect calling him a liar. They're blaspheming God. What do? We ignore the blasphemy and lay out our evidential case for God. Now imagine that somebody came up to you and said, I think your wife's a prostitute. They'd be in a way blaspheming your wife. Would you say, well, last night she was at home making dinner, so I don't think she was out walking the street. The night before that she was at choir practice, so I'm pretty sure she wasn't walking the street then either. And the night before that she was at her parents' house, so I really don't think my wife's a prostitute. Would you do that? Would you lay out an evidential argument for your wife's purity? Of course not. You'd say, that's my wife you're talking about. Choose your next words wisely. Why then, when people blaspheme God, do we act as though nothing has happened? Christians need to revere the name and the word of God. Sure, have the discussion with the unbeliever, but make sure that they realize what they're doing when they say that they don't believe in God. For more apologetic answers, visit AnswerAnyone.com.
Welcome back to Cross Politic, y'all. How's that coffee, David?
Huh? What? We doing something? I'm in my happy place.
What you drinking over there?
Some Fight Laugh Feast, Sovereignty Blend.
Ooh.
Available at crosspolitic.com.
Where can you find that?
Crosspolitic.com. Hey, have we talked about Memo yet?
No, we have not.
I was making coffee during the first segment, and then we had the Church Curmudgeon.
You weren't listening to anything we said.
What'd you say?
Yeah.
So so we haven't talked about Memo.
Nope. We're going to need an intervention.
Okay, so there is a new way to contact us at crosspolitic.com.
for all three of you.
For all three of our listeners, now you can go on your phone, pull up the Memo application while you're listening, or if you happen to finish listening to Cross Politic, record a voice memo and then email it to memo@crosspolitic.com, and we'll play your snark, your comment, your encouragement on the show.
We're going to play it?
We're going to play it on the show.
That's what's so cool about Memo.
All phones now. Why do you have a selfie stick in your hand?
Because
this
here's
just got
why.
really weird.
Put that down.
No.
Put that down.
No, here's why.
Step
because
away from the selfie stick.
Listen to this. Okay.
This just got scary.
Hang on here, from Church Curmudgeon. This will clarify a lot of this right here in like 2 seconds here.
Church Curmudgeon has you pulling out a selfie stick?
This is Gabe's new devotional.
No. I know.
I'm gonna need some more of this.
It totally is. Uh-oh. You guys got to talk for a second while I tie this into why I got the selfie stick.
All phones nowadays have the Memo option. Go to your phone.
I was looking for it. Where is it?
So you know the little search engine. I'll show you right now. So a little search engine on your phone, thumbprint,
type in Memo.
Type in Memo. Or ask Siri. Siri, where's Memo?
Okay, Memo.
And it says voice memos. Pops up.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I got it. Okay.
And you can click that.
Click on it.
Click on voice memo.
Okay, and then I can record it.
You can exactly hit record button.
Say, yo.
No, you're supposed to say something like, I really, really enjoy Cross Politic.
I really enjoy Cross Politic.
Tell Gabe to keep his beard.
Yeah, and send me some of that. Oh, coffee?
Yes.
Please?
Yes.
Do a giveaway.
Yes.
Okay. Love you. Bye.
Yeah. Okay. Now,
so I just recorded
it. And then after you record, you can see the memo there. It's done. Yep. Now
save it. Oh,
save it. Don't have to save it. Right below the play button, there's a little send button. Hit that send button, and it opens up your email for you.
Send button. Okay, I got it. Then it opens up email
options.
Got it.
Yep. And we want to send it to memo@crosspolitic.com.
Where's the add button? There it is. At crosspolitic.
There we go. Yeah.
You guys lost me already. Oh, man.
You're looking for something.
Yeah. All right, I sent it.
Now we get it.
I just sent it.
And we're going to go to our email and we'll play it. on the show for the next show.
Oh, wow.
And so we get to hear other people comment on the show. Other good, I mean,
give us input.
We have 10 smart listeners.
At least.
At least 10 smart listeners. I'm sorry for the others that are not. But the 10 smart listeners that are there, we love to hear from you. I mean, a lot of times people send us stuff that, like, for instance, we're talking about the sending our children to war. And he said, hey, we don't want the government. What are you doing with the selfie stick? Put that down. No, don't do that. No. Are you Facebook Living right now?
No, I'm not.
Oh, my gracious. I'm not in there.
Oh, it's not working.
Good.
Hang on, I got to fix.
No.
But the Church Curmudgeon said, the Bible says we won't be tempted beyond what we can handle. But when I see someone with a selfie stick, I want to whack them with it.
He's right.
The church.
Hey, can I borrow that real quick? Can I borrow that?
Me and my wife, we were in Maui for one of our anniversaries a long time ago.
He is so right. I need to send the Church Curmudgeon.
David, if you're listening to this episode, I'm telling you, you're right. You're right. Me and Chuck Knox, we're ready.
Oh man. Wait. Me and my wife were in Maui one time, and we laugh at people who have selfie sticks in public and are using them. Mm-hmm. And we pulled over to the side. We were looking over a cliff one time, and this couple were doing the selfie stick over the cliff kind of thing. And me and my wife both took a picture of it at the same time, and they looked at us and saw us in the car taking a picture out of it. And we're both holding our camera up, our phone up.
Too late. So why laughter?
Yeah,
why spend so much time laughing?
Well, I think good comedy, good laughter is able to bring out a point or say something that we can't normally say to someone,
But isn't the gospel serious?
Well, yes and no. Of course it's serious, but comedy or laughter is a venue to get you to open up about something that you probably wouldn't be as open to before.
Okay.
Right.
So as like a conversation starter element, or a way of warming people up, a way of reaching out, a way of relating,
or helping them see the same point from a different perspective.
Okay.
And so, really, Gabe?
He's doing it
really?
Again.
No, I can't focus with you in this selfie stick. And it's not funny, so it's not helping me see this from a different perspective at all.
It's not working.
It's not working.
I think
God doesn't want it to work.
I think he's trying to be funny.
It is not good to, and it's not working. It's not. It is not good for the Holy Spirit for this to work. Obviously.
But why? So is that all? It just helps you see it from a different angle. What else?
Well,
how about?
Well, the Bible. I mean, Proverbs talks about laughter being good for the soul too, right?
It is.
And
the joy of the Lord. The joy of the Lord is our strength.
Can I have the selfie stick?
No, you're gonna
give me the.
You're gonna beat me with it.
Oh yeah, it might get violent in here.
Yeah, so that's one.
The joy of the Lord is our strength.
Yeah.
And we have to laugh because we need to rejoice always.
And again, I say rejoice. Amen.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, of course, rejoicing always doesn't mean that everything's always slap happy, funny, silly.
Yeah.
There are horrific things that happen in the world. We go to funerals. We lose loved ones. Death's not the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
Pain, suffering is not the way it's supposed to be. But
it's Ecclesiastes 3. There's a time for everything.
Yeah, but but as we talked to, it was Os Guinness. Remember when we went to see The Wizard? Mm-hmm. Remember in his book he talks about this how the gospel is sort of has a comedic element to it. Mm-hmm. Because the cross isn't the last word.
It's not a tragedy.
Right. It's a comedy in the classical sense. Not that it's always, hilarious, rip-roaring, funny. But
like Dumb and Dumber.
But God he's only going to laugh at that all by himself.
As long as he doesn't have the selfie stick, I'm fine.
If we ignore him, maybe he'll learn. But the resurrection is God's last laugh.
Mm.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
God gets the last laugh. And all the powers of darkness, sin, Satan, and death did their worst. And God raised his son from the dead and said, ha. Right? Yeah. Psalm 2, right? The nations, the kings of the earth set themselves against God's exactly anointed. Yeah. And what does he do from heaven?
He laughs.
He laughs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right? So if our God is laughing in heaven at the Fidel Castros of the world, at the tyrants of the world who oppress and mistreat, at the abortion doctors, right? Mm-hmm. If our God in heaven is laughing at them saying, you are doing your worst, but my son lives. And I've purchased this world with his precious blood, and nothing can undo that. And I will raise them all up at the last day. We can laugh with our God.
Well, I think that
and that laughter though is. I'm sorry. I'm just.
No, go.
I'm going to go.
Do it.
That laughter though is part of the way that we confess that Jesus is Lord. It's the way. It's how we actually proclaim it. We're laughing, and then there's a time to mourn. There's a time to be serious. But there's joy in our heart because Jesus lives. There's joy in our heart that because Jesus is seated at the right hand of the Father, and everybody doing their worst.
Yeah.
Right? North Korea doing their worst. Iran doing its worst. Whatever. We say, we're working for justice, and in the meantime, there's joy in our hearts because Jesus lives, because the resurrection is the last laugh of God.
That's because you know the narrative too.
Right? You know the story.
You know the story.
So we fight, we laugh, and we feast.
Yeah.
Well, I think that also points to there's just depth. If there's laughter in this world, there's depth in this world, and there's depth on how we handle things. Right. And if you think of all the, you go back and think of so when we're talking about Church Curmudgeon a little bit, that's kind of a small C comedy.
Sure.
What we want to talk about is the large
big C,
the big C, the large C. Is there a large C?
I don't know. I just see like gang signs. What is going on?
But you're right.
But you look at the whole narrative of. Let me finish it with this. Right. You look at the whole narrative, and you see at times how God used this depth of change in a people, or God used this depth of communication to change the world. So you think of Israel in Egypt, and Israel's in Egypt, and Pharaoh says, we need to kill all these boys because there's someone that's going to rise up and challenge me.
Well,
what happened there?
Too many of them. They're going to revolt.
They're going to revolt. And what happened is more babies started coming. Right. The Hebrew wives started, lying about it, and God couldn't even.
Those
Pharaoh,
women are so strong.
Pharaoh couldn't stop.
I know. Yeah, those women, those Hebrew women. You don't know how they give babies.
They got birthing hips.
They just pop them out. We get there. It's like, what do you want us to do?
Right. And they're lying straight faced.
Oh yeah.
To the king, and God blessed them.
And there's a depth that's really comical, right? And a big C, large C comedy. Right. And then you look at them.
And in the moment, it's dark.
I was going to say,
in the moment, it's dark. In the moment, it's serious, and they're taking their lives in their hands. They're risking their lives to defy the king. If he'll kill babies, he'll kill midwives. Right?
No problem.
But in order to defy the king, because you love God, you have to see a bigger picture. Right. You have to have a deeper understanding of the world, and even when it's that dark, that darkness is not all that there is. There's actually light.
Mm-hmm. And when I think of this big C topic, I also think of Jonah. You have this prophet who doesn't
of the ocean and the water.
Because of the ocean and water.
That's the big C.
The big C. Oh man,
you're
Toby.
a rapper now, huh? Pastor rapper.
The big C.
No, don't do that.
Okay.
No, we're still on air.
Well, but I mean, think of Jonah. He was this prophet who didn't want to obey God. Yeah. He flees from God.
He was the original Church Curmudgeon.
He was. Right? Hey, we need a tweet for that one. There we go.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. In a lot of ways,
Mr. Grumpy Pants himself.
He was sitting in the back. Went the wrong direction.
Not going to go to Nineveh.
God swallows him up with a big giant fish.
Yep.
Which
is funny.
It's funny. It's big funny. C funny, right? And then the fish throws him up on the shore.
Yeah.
And to be able to
fish puke.
Oh.
And so there's a depth that's going on there that God uses to get at us in a way that just coming straight at you is not going to have that same effect.
Yeah, one of the stories I think of, since we're picking out stories from the Bible, going back to the Moses story.
Bible story time.
Yeah, Bible story time.
Everybody sit down, cross your legs.
Ooh, with some
Get your coffee.
So you have a Pharaoh who says, kill all the boys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I want these boys dead. I want these boys dead. And all of a sudden, a boy comes into his household. Ooh, look, a boy. You know what I mean? He's going to kill.
He ends up raising the
very boy
Moses
he wanted to kill.
Who delivers Israel.
Come on, that's hilarious.
It is.
Yeah.
And God brings him in through the back door. Oh, you want to kill boys?
Your daughter.
Here you go.
Your daughter's going to adopt one.
And he's going to say, kill him. Oh, look at this boy.
Yeah.
What is? Oh, he's a Hebrew boy.
Right. And this
we'll take him, and we'll get his mother to raise him.
And this is all tied to the sovereignty of God, right?
Yes, exactly.
So let's back it up just a generation before that. Joseph gets sold into slavery by his brothers, who basically want him dead.
Yep.
He gets sold into slavery. He gets mistreated, ends up in prison. God raises him up. Pharaoh raises him to the right hand. His brothers show up. Of course, there's the whole charade of who is this guy? Yeah. He recognizes it. They don't.
Yeah.
This is funny.
Yeah.
Right. And then finally, of course, they recognize him. They know who he is. He makes himself known. They're terrified. They think he's going to get revenge. And he says, no, I'm not the judge. God's the judge. And then he explains to them. He says, what you meant for evil.
That's right.
God meant for good.
Amen.
All right. So the sovereignty of God means that he's able to override everything in the story with his meaning.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that there aren't really truly evil things.
Right.
But the things that we do and mean for evil, God is able to turn for good, which means there is nothing so dark, nothing so evil that God is not able to pull a punchline out of.
Yeah.
Right? He can turn it into a joke.
That's how he writes.
That's that's the story he's writing, and we know that he's done that in all these stories in history. Let's talk about the baby boys,
right?
But we know that ultimately because of Jesus,
right. And to tie this into Christmas season, you have the same scene. Fast forward thousands of years later,
kill the baby boys.
You have Herod killing the baby boys, and what happens? Right. And in fact, what was it? The scribes and Pharisees knew the prophecy that Jesus was coming, and they told Herod,
"Oh, he'll be born in Bethlehem."
He'll be born in Bethlehem. Yeah, Matthew chapter 2. He'll be born in Bethlehem. We can actually point out the text in Micah. Right. Was it Micah? Right.
Yeah.
And they point out the text. They tell Herod where he's going to be born. So Herod sets up a perimeter. Around Bethlehem for 2 years and kills all the babies under 2 years old.
Right.
And Jesus comes out of that.
Right. Yeah. But that tells us that that's the kind of God we serve. That he overrules. He rules and he overrules.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, we have to have that kind of depth of soul. Mm-hmm. And fundamentally, you have to know this. If you know Christ, if you know him yourself, if you've been saved, if you've been forgiven, then you know something about this.
Yeah.
Because God's already told that story in you.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's taken the darkness in you and he's shined his light on you.
Amen.
Right? And so he's turned evil the things you've done for evil, things you meant for evil, and he's turned it and he's received it, and instead he's given us the righteousness of Jesus.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So we already, if you know Christ, you should already be chuckling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Because you're like, oh my goodness, God has been conspiring to save me.
Yeah.
He's been using all these things all this time. Yeah. And yes, I was horrible. I was an enemy. I was sinful. I was dark. And yet he saved me.
The punchline of salvation in your life.
So if he can do that with me in my darkness, in my evil, in my rebellion, he can do that anywhere and everywhere. Mm-hmm. And so that gives you eyes of faith.
Amen.
Right? To engage the world, engage your family, engage your workplace, engage the culture. Right, because you serve the God who rules and overrules everything.
I like
so we can laugh.
I like what you said about eyes of faith. I think, for me, I'm a Christian, and never knew a time where I didn't know Jesus. So I never knew a time where I was in darkness. I've always been in the light. And comedy for me, I think, helps me see my pettiness. Mm-hmm. It helps me see things that I shouldn't be taking seriously, or even in that dark moment of challenge, sorrow, grief, or a trial, comedy helps me deal with that. It's a way to fight my sin away, right?
Yeah.
It's a way to fight temptation and everything, and it's beautiful. And it's like in comedy, it points out your pettiness in a way that it hurts a little bit.
Right. For me, it's been my complaining.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was just reading the text where Egypt complained about manna from heaven. And they said, guys, remember when we had like fish in Egypt?
Now we got this stupid magic bread.
We're free men with magic bread, but fish in Egypt was so good, guys. Remember that? Right. Oh, wow. And it's like 1 Corinthians, like, don't complain like they did.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like, why would you complain? God has been so good to us in so many different ways. Yeah. And so I see that in myself as like, Lord, I am that person. Forgive me.
Right.
I had to laugh at myself. You know?
And the ability to laugh just reminds you that, it's the joy of the Spirit. It's
That's right.
That God is with you. I remember when my father-in-law was dying just a couple of years ago. And he, I spent the last about month of his life, I spent quite a few nights with him, helping my mother-in-law take care of him. And I remember I would help him get up at night. He couldn't sleep very good, and he was suffering from cancer. And it took him about a half an hour to trudge like 20 steps down to the restroom and back. It was slow and painstaking, but several nights towards the end, I remember we had some he would find something hilarious.
Wow.
And like he's just suffering, and you're looking, and then we just start dying laughing. Then he'd start coughing and be like, "Oh no, sorry, better stop. That hurts too much." But like he was laughing, and I was looking at this situation, saying, "You know what? God is here.
Amen.
You don't laugh in the face of death."
Unless you're a Christian.
Unless you know Jesus, unless you know the power of his resurrection, unless his Spirit lives in you now.
Wow. Praise God.
That's great, man. Let's wrap this up. One more plug for
the church. Because I'm out of coffee.
We're out of coffee.
We're out of coffee.
Yes.
Check out the book, Then Tweets My Soul.
We're giving one away.
We're giving one away. So go to Twitter, play the Twitter challenge.
Send us your best tweets.
Whatever that is.
Here's a the Twitter church
we
Curmudgeon
made up
Twitter
a Twitter
challenge.
game that we can't even define.
It's gonna be trending tomorrow.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
It's gonna be get it trending. And one last tweet. This is directed at us. Okay.
Here we go. All right.
The Sunday school class on hyper Calvinism has been canceled due to unforeseen circumstances. Pick up the book, Then Tweets My Soul, the best of Church Curmudgeon.
Go to crosspolitic.com and get some of that good fight, laugh, feast. Sovereignty blend. Until next week, love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. Fight, laugh, and feast.